Are you interested in the carnivore diet, but thinking maybe it sounds so extreme and you're not sure whether you could sustain it for any period of time? Did you know that is exactly where I was just 6 months ago? At that stage, I had a friend who was on carnivore and they were telling me about the wonderful things that they were experiencing, but I was a bit skeptical. But at that time, I had two problems in my life that I was fairly acutely aware of. One is that I was overweight, and I was forever going back to the department store to buy jeans that were the next size up. It's a terrible way to live. The other problem I had is that some 12 months earlier, I had been to the doctor and discovered that my blood pressure was extremely high. It was up about 190 over 90. And I was very concerned, as was the doctor. And my doctor at that time put me on blood pressure tablets. And so I faithfully took those tablets for a whole year, and yet nothing happened. There was no change to my blood pressure despite the doctor increasing the dose a number of times during that year. And so I got to thinking at the stage, I'm not sure about this thing called carnivore, but if I could lose some weight and I could also reduce my blood pressure, then I think it would be worth a crack. So that were the two goals I had in my mind when I started. But let's fast forward 5 months, shall we? What has happened in my life since starting carnivore? Well, my two goals were successful. I did lose weight. I lost 18 kilos, or about 39 pounds to date. I also reduced my blood pressure. Within just 1 month on carnivore, my blood pressure dropped to normal and I was able to go off all my blood pressure medication, and it has remained normal ever since. And for that, I am very grateful. But I have to tell you, not only did my weight go down and my blood pressure come down, but unexpectedly, a whole lot of things got better. Things like plantar fasciitis in my foot that I'd had for 12 months. Things like arthritis in my fingers. Things like joint pain, where all my joints would ache every day and I'd always have a part of my body that was hurting somewhere. And I could go on, and I have documented these things in earlier videos. But today I wanted to share with you 4 totally unexpected things that happened that I started to become aware of around about the 3-month mark. So today in this video, I wanted to share with you these 4 things. 4 things that were totally unexpected, but 4 things that have absolutely transformed my life in a way that I never thought was possible. Folks, these are good news things. The first thing that happened is that I found that I had brand new energy. I had energy like I had never had before. Prior to carnivore, I would always take a nap every day during the day because I was just tired. I was tired all the time. In fact, if we had a day out, and that would happen sometimes, I always said to my wife, I need another day now just to recover. I was always tired, always achy, always run down. I could not sleep at night. The best I could manage most nights would be 5 to 6 hours at best. So I was not getting the sleep I needed either. But I have to say, since starting carnivore, I have experienced such a renewed energy that I never thought was possible. I feel better and fitter and more energetic than I have for as long as I can remember. I can have a whole day of doing things, fairly active things. I can walk, I can mow the lawn, I can get involved out in the garden, I can go and visit friends, I can be on the go all day, and then at the end of the day, I've still got energy to spare and I feel like doing something else to use up the energy that I have. This is a dramatic transformation for me. I now find instead of sleeping 5 to 6 hours a night, I'm now sleeping 8 hours a night and having no trouble sleeping. Folks, that is huge for me. So that's the first benefit I wanted to share with you. Carnivore has brought a new energy into my life. But there's 3 more. The second one is this. Carnivore brought a new sense of clarity into my life. Clarity, mental clarity. I think for me personally, this is perhaps the greatest benefit that I have received from being on the carnivore diet. It is absolutely extraordinary. Until I started carnivore, I'd never heard the expression brain fog before. And yet now I understand it very clearly indeed, because I had brain fog and I never was aware of it. Suddenly on carnivore, round about the 3-month mark, I started to notice I am thinking better. I am thinking more clearly. I am seeing the world differently. I'm seeing my problems differently. I'm seeing food differently. I'm seeing my family differently. Things that were so difficult and complex before were now easy. I could solve problems much faster. I could think more clearly. It was a whole new clarity that I had never before experienced, and it remains clarity every day. A clear mind. I was now far more alert than I'd ever been before, more engaged in situations. When I talk with people now, I feel that I'm more fully present, fully engaged in the conversation. I can concentrate on things for a long period of time. I can think clearly. It's an incredible feeling to have mental clarity, but that's the second unexpected benefit that carnivore brought into my life. There are 2 more. The third one is this. I began to experience a whole new sense of calm. In other words, a lack of anxiety, a lack of being worried about everything. Because prior to carnivore, anxiety was, I guess if I was honest, a keynote of my life. I would be anxious about many things and troubled about things. And I was prone to thinking the world was against me and that all of these things are going to go wrong. We're not going to have enough money. We're going to get sick. We're going to get old. We need more health insurance. All of those things, the daily pressures of life would come in. And at times I could get even quite depressed thinking about some of those issues. But I have to say, there is a new calmness. There is, I describe it as a quiet confidence, a peacefulness, a gentleness about life. Things that upset me once now don't upset me at all. Somebody can speak to me and be very contentious and I don't react at all, whereas once I was ready to punch his lights out. Not only calmness, but there is with that calmness a sense of joy in life. For a long time, life for me was just sort of mundane, just going through the motions. But now I've suddenly found I have a new sense of joy. I just have a reason to get up in the morning. I feel lighter. I feel happier. I feel more content. I don't know whether you watched my last video, an interview with a lovely lady called Bridget, but Bridget actually spoke about this very thing in her interview, and she used the expression, she said, now I have in my life joy for no reason. What a beautiful, powerful, wonderful phrase. To be able to experience joy for no reason. It's not that something good has happened or whatever. It's simply that you experience just the joy of life every day. There is a calmness, there is a peacefulness, there is a joyfulness about carnivore that I certainly never expected, but I absolutely relish it. So many people on the carnivore diet have given testimony and story to the fact that they have for many years in some cases struggled with mental illness. And this is a monumental problem in our community today. And if you're not affected by mental illness, I can almost guarantee you have family members and friends and colleagues who are. It plagues so many people today. And yet people on carnivore are saying that carnivore helped me overcome my mental illness, and they moved into mental health, mental vitality. And many of these people are saying they were able to get off all of their antidepressants for the first time in years. You might think, well, that's just anecdotal evidence, and I guess, in a sense, it is. But friends, when you hear story after story after story after story of people who struggle with mental illness saying, carnivore got rid of my mental illness, you have to sit up and think, maybe there's something in this. So that was number 3. I've just got one more to talk about, and that is that I found another unexpected benefit of carnivore is that it brought into my life a new momentum. That's a great word, isn't it? The word momentum, it means you've got some sort of propulsion forwards in your life. You're no longer stuck. So many times we can feel stuck. But let me tell you, friends, if you have started carnivore, let me tell you what you've done. You've made one of the biggest decisions of your life. You have decided that you're not going to play the victim anymore, but that you are going to take responsibility for your own health. And you make the decision to cut out carbs, to cut out processed food, to cut out sugar, and you radically and totally change your lifestyle and your diet. Let me tell you that 99% of the population have never done that, but you did it. And you did it in the face of the so-called experts warning you against all the terrible things that would happen. You did it even if your friends were going to alienate you and think that you've gone crazy and mad. You stood your ground and you started carnivore. That was a hard thing to do, but you did it. But here's the thing, folks. If you have done one hard thing in your life, maybe, just maybe, you could do another hard thing. What am I talking about? Well, only you can answer that. Maybe you follow that dream that you've had all your life but never done anything about. Maybe you write that book. Maybe you restore that broken relationship that was always just too hard and you had given up. Maybe you do something extraordinary. Maybe if you've done one thing to take responsibility for your health, you can take responsibility for your life in other areas. Folks, you can transform the whole of your life with carnivore momentum. Folks, you've probably realized by now that the carnivore diet is far more than just changing what you eat. I'm now at the place where I'm thinking carnivore is just 10% about what I eat and 90% what's going in my head, what's going on up here. You see, carnivore not only affects your body, and it certainly does that, but it also affects your mind, your emotions, and then it affects your spirit, the real you inside of you. And you begin to think about things like emotional wholeness and spirituality and your purpose in life and your reason for being here on the planet. You see, folks, this will transform your life if you follow it through. You've done one hard thing, you can do another, but friends, it all starts with what you eat. So important, and that's our starting point. Friends, look, I've just covered the surface here today, but if you have enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I invite you to join our Facebook group where we can discuss together and share together our stories and ask questions in a safe place. I'll leave a link to the group in the description below. It's also at the top of our channel page. And I wanted to say thank you for watching today. I really appreciate your support. Please comment. Tell me how you're getting on. Tell me what carnivore is doing for you. I love reading the comments and I answer every comment. So please engage with me there. But I will see you on the next video. And friends, keep telling your story.